Hey now, we is January 24th. We are at Gil Hodges. Before we start, Gil Hodges, though, a couple bits of housekeeping. Number one, I want to thank Mike, Baseball Collector, for having me on his channel yesterday. Had a lot of fun discussing the Hall of Fame ballot. I guessed all three again. Granted, it wasn't a big stretch to guess all three who are going to get in. So number two is if you haven't voted for the Baseball YouTube Hall of Fame, even though it's Sports Card Hall of Fame, I think autographs deserves to go in there. So I'd appreciate your vote at Jake's Legends Never Die. And let's talk about Gil Hodges. Gil Hodges, very polarizing figure, almost like another Joe Torre, let's say, but not as good a playing career maybe as Joe Torre. Joe Torre had the MVP. Gil Hodges did not. He never led the league really in any offensive category. He played first base, even though he played on a couple of amazing teams that had some really good numbers. His batting average wasn't anything stellar necessarily at the time of his retirement. I think I read when he retired, he had one of the lowest, what's it called? For currently of any Hall of Famers, he has one of the lowest batting averages of any Hall of Famer. I'm trying to look it up real quick at the top of my head. I think it's 273. So again, first base, you associate that usually with a lot of power. That's a lot of times they stick players that can't feel too well. So again, he had 370 home runs, 1,274 RBIs. I mean, really good, but nothing that great. Granted, he gave up time serving in the military, which is very important and should be considered. And again, part of some great Brooklyn Dodgers and won a World Series in Los Angeles as well. He was on the original 1962 Mets team. And of course, he went on, as most people know, to manage the 1969 Miracle Mets team as well. So again, he was a very polarizing figure. A matter of fact, at the time of his Hall of Fame, until Jim Rice, I just read this, he had more votes of any player not to get into the Hall of Fame than anyone else in history until Jim Rice. So just think about that for a second. He ended up in the 60s, and then his name trickled across the Veterans Committees many, many times. And finally, what year was it? Fairly recently, he got in. I would argue he got in instead of Dick Allen, which was kind of sad. But I mean, Gil Hodges deserved it. And I was kind of surprised because his name's been out there for so long why he finally got in. And then I read an article that his wife, it was 96 years old, was still alive at the time. So maybe that helped things. I mean, again, there are worse people that have got in the Hall of Fame, especially to the Veterans Committee. Hero Pates. So Gil Hodges is in. His autograph, he died very young of a heart attack. I think age 47 in 1972, just dropped dead on the golf course of a heart attack. So he was a staple at stadiums. He was a very good signer. So it's not like his autograph is necessarily rare per se, but the problem is, I mean, he was on the Mets, on the Dodgers, highly collectible even while he was alive. So when he passed away, I mean, you could get his autograph probably for $200, $250. I always joke with Bill that he won the National one year because he got a government postcard before the induction, and he got a steal on the government postcard. I'd kill to have that now. So I already have one of his autographs, but I'll keep going. I did buy at this National. It was on my upgrade list. I don't know how well you can see this right here, but I bought another autograph of his. I paid, it was beautifully framed and everything. Not that I needed a frame or anything like that. I didn't see with the light, but right here, it's a first day cover of Gil Hodges. I paid $250 for this. I like it. I don't even love it. I mean, honestly, I don't know why I bought it. It was on my list. I wanted something for the National Autograph Line. So I saw it. It was the last day I was there. I had a couple extra bucks flowing in my pocket. So sure, I took it. So I have two Gil Hodges autographs. That one and another one actually I like better. So I've talked enough about Gil Hodges. Let's actually look at the autograph analysis of Mr. Gil Hodges. Of course, we're going to start with the PSA database. Now, these are government contracts. These are beautiful. There's a lot that have been released by the family over the years, pre-Hall of Fame. I haven't seen any of these since he's gotten in the Hall of Fame. But again, when you're looking for a Gil Hodges autograph, actually, this one's kind of tough to see. Let's see if we can zoom in on one right here. I mean, you're not going to find a Gilbert Ray Hodges on non-government documents. But what's usually you're looking for is usually, not always, but sometimes, well, you always want to see a two-stroke H with the H stadium, what's it called, starting higher than this stroke of the H, looping around higher than this one. The Gil, you want to see loop across. I like seeing this 8, a little bit like Mantle, reverse Mantle. But you see how there's sort of an 8 right here? That's what I like to see in the Gil Hodges autographs. You're not always going to see that. But he signed with a lot of flair, a lot of racing. So, again, he died very young. There should be zero hesitation. We'll look at some face in a little bit later. There should be zero hesitation in the Gil Hodges autograph. So right here, you can see this signed 1949. Again, here's the baseball. It doesn't have that figure 8 I saw that I like to see, but again, I think this is still good. Again, usually, not always, usually this G is higher than this G, but this H should be higher than this H. 2-stroke H, like we talked about right here. Zero hesitation. A beautiful signature. Again, it should be all the Hodges should be 1 after this H, 1 single thing. Same thing with the Gil, 1 stroke all the way through. The S usually flares up. I've seen it where it hasn't right here. But again, high G. The H, you can still see is a little bit higher than this. Usually the Gil, the O, the I, dotted I is around like this. It's not always. I've seen ones where it's not. But again, here, this one, you can see try for the 8. Little bit right here. That's what I want to see in a Gil Hodges autograph. Again, right here, this is a contract, 1964. Again, the G is still a little bit higher than this. The H is much higher than that. It's a 2-stroke. Sometimes the H will go through this loop. Sometimes it won't. It's not a deal breaker. What is a deal breaker is if you see any hesitancy. So again, we're just going to run through these. Again, another thing here, you can sort of see that loop of the 8 right here. This G is higher than this one right here. You got the full circle right here. The H going, this H being higher. The S races up. He comes down at the end of this. Again, that's rare. It's not a deal breaker at all here. Again, another one, the S goes through. This G is higher than this G. This H is higher than this H. 2-stroke. This time the H doesn't go through this. But again, it's a nice racing signature. That's what you want to see. Zero hesitation right here. Again, this G, you can still say it's a little bit higher, little H. I still think this is a good ball. It's very tough to do this little 8 right here with such precision. So again, you can even see it right here. Again, high H, high G. I mean, hopefully by now you're getting the feel what to look for in a Gil Hodges. Again, this is Captain Gil Hodges. Again, beautiful full Gilbert Hodges, 1944. So again, this went to auction. I haven't seen a lot of these come up since he got in the Hall of Fame. These are all beautiful autographs that came from the family, obviously. So again, high G, high H, we talked about nice racing. The S comes up, this one comes down. The G comes over. He didn't do his little 8 right here, but again, it's still the round dot over the O. I mean, obviously, this is good. So, I mean, hopefully, again, you're getting the feel about it. This is a real, see the flare in this H. Look how beautiful that is. The S going up, the high G, very high H. You're not going to see an H this high that often. So, I mean, this is a little rare that you sense that the G is higher than this. I mean, I still think it's good. You still have the nice 8 and everything. But again, this is an uncommon autograph, let's say, that this G starts higher than this G. But again, still good. Again, another one here. That G is higher than that G. But again, it's so much going for it. I mean, there's no question that it's good right here. So are we done yet? I think we're done. Let's take a look. But this is the first one autograph I have. Again, this is the high G, but again, it rates H is right through. It has the nice 8. I bought this for $100 like 10 years ago, framed like this. It has the JSA on the back. Again, not that it matters. Even after this one and that one, it's still on my upgrade list. I would like to upgrade it to some kind of document, kind of like what Bill has. So maybe Bill will let go of it one day. So I just want to turn your attention to a couple other things. Number one right here. And if you collect autographs, you know what to look out. This is a Charlie the Bro autograph. So, and again, what's unique, you could tell is no good. Obviously, we can zoom in right here. Like, I mean, obviously it bled right here, but he tried too hard with the 8. He couldn't get it. So you can see the bleeding right here. Another thing is the H doesn't loop around. I should have talked about this before. The D looks like it's a separate stroke from the G, even though it's not. I mean, the Bro was good. He was pretty good at this. I'm not going to lie. But I mean, just looking at it, I mean, you could tell it's not good, but he didn't do a bad job. I've seen worse. Plus, he added 2 L's right here. Gil only signed his name with the 1, so that's kind of a dead giveaway. It looks like right here, yeah, with 2 L's. So, I mean, that's the first thing. Is check the spelling of the name. So, again, this is a Bro autograph. It's described as much. One more I wanted to show. Again, the people at Outer saved. Oh, look at this. This is just a hodgepodge. No flair, no nothing. I don't know what this is, but this is not a Gil Hodges autograph. Doesn't even look anything like it. But you have to go really far down to find a bad Gil Hodges autograph in Outer Safe. And the same thing with other places. I was looking on eBay, and his prices have really gone up. These are the completed sales. and you're not going to find a nice one for like, look, this is a signed cut. I mean, it's not even graded. It's just a cut at the end of the day. And it sold for, let me scroll down here. It sold for $629. I mean, is the autograph good? Absolutely. It's a great autograph. I just like, wow, $629 for a cut blows my mind. So anyways, that is enough with Gil Hodges. We're going to move on to another recent Hall of Famer, Trevor Hoffman. But until then, thanks again for watching. I appreciate the support. If you voted, I really appreciate it, and keep collecting.